Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's nursery tour. We opened for the first time last Saturday. We're open again this Saturday. It was an amazing time. We had such a fun time. We had the two food trucks. We had Food Junkie with donuts to die for. And then of course we had our friends at Bolton's with the best burgers and onion rings and all the things. It was great. They both sold out, so it was a great day for them. We had folks covering this place. We had folks traveling all the way from Michigan for our grand opening and various other states. It was wonderful to see lots of familiar faces and get some great hugs, and then of course meet some new folks as well. We do these nursery tours so that you can see in real time what we have available here at the Garden Center. If you're coming, right, if you're coming this Saturday, these are things that you are going to find at the Garden Center for you this week. We do this once a week throughout the growing season so that you can just get a real-time feel for what is here at the Garden Center. Now, speaking of what is at the Garden Center, on Saturday we had showed you in last week's nursery tour all of the beautiful hellebores that we had. Y'all, just as I suspected, you gobbled them up. Thank goodness, before we opened, I went through and grabbed a hellebore of the varieties that I did not have, because before lunch, they were all gone. It was a ton of hellebore, so we have reordered. This just came yesterday. Clearly, we have not had time to unpack it yet. But we've got some of the ones that we had last week. This is Carlotta. This is a really fun one. This is from Ice and Roses, right? Let me try to get here and show you the color on that. I love it because it's a bit of a rose. It's got some cream in there, a really nice different kind of color to it, but it is that Ice and Roses Carlotta. So this is really fun. One we did not have last week was the Ice and Roses, no, excuse me, Frost Kiss Anna's Red. Frost Kiss is more known because it has the variegated foliage on it. So even when it's not in bloom, you're going to have really neat foliage to it. So that is nice. But the Anna's Red is going to be that nice dark color. Hellebores, of course, come in a gazillion different colors in those whites, pinks, reds, deep dark purples. They have double blooms, they have single blooms. But the Frost Kiss Anna's Red is a great one to add. I mean, honestly, y'all, hellebores are like hostas. You don't have to have a whole like swatch of the whole thing. You can have various ones tucked into your woodland garden. Lenten roses tend to be more shade tolerant for that. So make sure that you're going to put it in a shady area. I mean, but my gosh, this is still that Anna's Red. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? One, when Jerry and I were undoing the wrapping for the pallet, one fell off and lost a little bit of dirt. And I'm like, oh darn, it's a damaged plant. Guess that's gonna have to go into Jenny's garden because Jenny doesn't have that one. So I've got the quote, damaged plant here that I will sacrifice and put in my garden. But just know that we're gonna have hellebores. So we've got hellebores for you. You can add them to the garden right now. Somebody asked in a video when I was up in the woodland garden if, you know, am I not worried because what if it gets cold again? Oh, it's gonna get cold again. In fact, one day in a couple of days, it's gonna be like 25. That is perfectly fine for these guys. Anything that we have here that is not in the greenhouse can be planted right now because they're acclimated. Like all of our shrubs have been out on the shrub lot all winter long. Hellebores can take cold temperatures. You can have hellebores coming up and blooming through the snow. So don't worry about that. If it's not in the greenhouse, you can plant it. If it's in the greenhouse, you're gonna have to wait. We also got some of the green velvet boxwoods. Green velvet is a really nice, unique boxwood that if you're thinking about doing a hedge, or you really want to do something like a formal garden or any kind of hedge really, the green velvet is going to be a great option for you because it's going to be a little bit smaller, say, than Sprinter. It's going to be at maturity like a 3x3. You can keep it a little bit smaller if you want to, of course, with pruning. Stays a nice, deep dark green all year round, and they have very strong stems. So these are great boxwoods to go ahead and use for hedges or foundational planting. If you're looking for a nice dark green boxwood that stays a little bit more on the smaller side, that 3x3 at maturity, or like I said with pruning, you can keep it smaller than that. We also went ahead and picked up some asparagus ferns. We don't grow per se asparagus fern, but this is one of my favorite plants, right? Because these things will get nice and big and they'll start to kind of drape over. So they go up a little bit and then spill over. Really kind of nice, fluffy, shall we say, foliage on it. It is just a foliage plant. One of my all-time favorite combinations, especially for that area if you have, it's more shady, but maybe you get some sun. It's like a weird sunspot, but it stays predominantly more shady, is pair asparagus fern with the diamond frost euphorbia. Mix them in together in a hanging basket, a window box. You want to talk about a classic, beautiful look, dark green foliage with that white of the diamond frost euphorbia. It is stunning. It is a great and low maintenance, very drought tolerant because they almost have in their roots like little water pocket reservoirs. So asparagus fern is definitely drought tolerant. So this is great to add into your annual combinations, your containers, landscape, whatever you want to do, because I don't know if it tells me how tall it gets. At maturity, yeah, it can be like 1 to 2 feet tall, 2 to 4 wide. Typically we sell this as an annual, and on the tag it says sun to shade. So very, very adaptable, especially if you've got kind of those weird sun conditions. Go with the asparagus fern. And then this was a huge, massive hit, was the pink shades viburnum. I'm gonna pull one out for you. Shades of pink. I always get it kind of backwards. This is going to be an evergreen viburnum that does beautiful flowers right in the spring. So the shades of pink, you can see here on this plant where it has the variation, right? So you've got the buds, right? Beautiful buds, nice red, pinky red stems. This is the bud stage. This is the flowering stage. Has a nice sweet fragrance to it. It is an evergreen. It's cold hardy up to a zone 7, and then it's, you know, warmer, does really well in those warm temperatures. Great thing about this too, evergreen, and it's a 4x5 tall and wide. So it's not gonna be massive. Like I have some popcorn viburnum that are beautiful, but they're deciduous and they get really, really big. This is gonna be great. I had one customer that went and put them, she has 2 Spanish urns from Unique Stone. So she put one in each Spanish urn. That way she can have beautiful evergreen foliage, flowers, but it's low maintenance and it fits perfectly in that Unique Stone urn, right? It is gorgeous. It's in front of her garage. Love it. Now, this is just a really neat one. Y'all were gobbling them up. So we grabbed more of those as well. So we've got these guys, so we will get them tagged and put out onto the lot and ready for you. But yeah, shrubs, loads of shrubs, whether you're looking for the evergreen of the loropetalum, right? This is a cerise charm. Beautiful, nice, deep, deep, dark purple foliage. Pairs beautifully with boxwoods, whether you want to do the green velvet or you want to do sprinter. So you've got options in that. And then, so like for example, this is, so here you can see some sprinters. So they're a little bit of a brighter green, just a difference in color and then how you want to use them. Distiliums are another great way to use in your landscape for your foundation plantings. Nice evergreen, low and wide, super low maintenance on that. So yeah, just walking on through. Of course, we've got hydrangeas galore. So lots of hydrangeas. They are all still dormant. So you can, this is the perfect time to plant your hydrangeas. I've been planting hydrangeas up in the woodland garden by the chicken coop. You want to get your roots established before the heat hits, right? Especially here in the South with our heat and humidity, you want to do that. Somebody was asking me on a question, and I don't remember who it was or where it was, but they were asking if we had the sweet talker viburnum for improving winters. Well, we sure do. So sweet talker is really neat because even though we're coming out of winter and you've got some, you know, some winter damage on, because these literally have sat out here all winter, but they're blooming. And sweet talker gets its name because of these sweet little tiny trumpet shaped kind of white and pink flowers. Smell really nice, but this too is an evergreen viburnum. It will get nice and big. I want to say it's like 8 to 10 feet tall. I have 2 of them in the berm, and they are full of blooms right now. Yes, 8 to 10 feet tall, 3 to 5 wide. Even if you have some frost damage, some winter damage on it, and they defoliate, they will still bloom and they will immediately flush out new flowers. So this is a really fun one. If you need something like in the back of your garden, or you need some height but not something super wide, then Sweet Talker is the one for you. Now, let's run up here. Oh, look, a quince. Look, she's getting ready to bloom. Huh. This is the Double Take Scarlet. I was gonna move on to something else, but here we have a quince that is blooming, and this has been out all winter right here on the lot. It's not been in the greenhouse. We have not forced this. This is naturally beginning to bloom, and they all are right here, have buds all over them. That is the beautiful thing about quince, is that very cold tolerant, especially for us here in the South, very cold tolerant, early blooms, and then you've got great foliage for the rest of the season. Now, I do want you to come up here, because in the barn area, you can see that we need to restock both our Proven Winners potting soil and our Land and Sea. Y'all were gobbling up Land and Sea this past Saturday, which is the perfect time to be doing it. This is the time of year where I am getting ready to feed all of my plants, and I'm going to then apply Land and Sea if I have not done it. This is the perfect time of year to go ahead and fertilize and apply compost if you've not done it. Like if you didn't do it in the fall, this is a great time to do it. My number one fertilizer for my spring feeding, whether it's for my perennials, my shrubs, my trees, I tell people, if you're only going to buy one fertilizer, then you are going to want to get Plant Tone. And we have it in bigger bags, but Plant Tone is what we call the Swiss Army knife of fertilizers. It is so versatile. It is a great, well-balanced, slow-release organic fertilizer that is going to feed all of those plants, whether it's your vegetables or your flowers, like I said, your perennials, shrubs, trees, you name it, this is the time to do it. So we want to feed the plants as they are coming out of winter dormancy and going into spring. I compare it to like a bear hibernating. When they wake up from their winter slumber, they're hungry and they're ready to eat. So are your plants. So let's go ahead and feed them, and then give them a nice top dressing of your compost. That is going to ensure just beautiful blooms, and that's all you have to do for those perennials, shrubs, trees. You feed them once a year, and that's all you need to do. Now, if you want to get specific, of course, your acid-loving plants, camellias, gardenias, hollies, azaleas, love the holly tone. If you really want to get specific, I do fertilize my hydrangeas and my roses with rose tone, because that is a great one for them. And of course, I think your butterfly bushes too can use rose tone as well. So that is an option. Now, we have, this is the palette that we have left of the Aquapot inserts. We started last Saturday with a full palette. We have 2.5 levels left, and when these are gone, they're gone. So this is what we have left for retail. Folks were not buying, it was rare that they would just buy one, they were buying multiples. I've also had people ask, what do you do in the wintertime? Well, I left mine out all winter. So it's in a container, it's in a ceramic glazed pot, and I have the insert in there. It sat there by the chicken coop all winter long and did perfectly fine. My plants are happy, my pot is happy, and they're doing great. So you can make your own decision, right? But just know that I left mine in the pot. I'm not undoing the pot. That's the whole purpose of the insert. And I've had no problems, and it was great. So if you want the inserts, they will be gone this Saturday. By the end of the day, they're going to be gone. So you need to come out here early on Saturday and go ahead and get your inserts. Also, of course, we have the Felcos. If now is the time to go ahead, if you need some new pruners, let's get you some pruners. If you have pruners but you need the maintenance, probably my two number one tools that I use for my Felcos. First of all is what we call the 905. Felco does everything by the numbers. It's like the item number. So this is 905. The 905 is a multifunction tool all in one. So you can sharpen your Felcos with this, and then when you need to clean them and take them apart, this is the tool to do it. Yeah. Because on the end, on the tip of here, it's got basically two, what would you call that, Jerry? Like,
it's like a, yeah, it's like a...
It fits the screw. So what do you?
It's like a nut driver.
Nut driver, ratchet. I don't know, whatever you call it. You know, whatever. So these.
It's like having a built-in socket without having to go back and get your socket set.
Right. Okay, so it's like a built-in socket is what he said. So this is specifically, there's two sizes. On each side of the 905, there's a different size. It perfectly fits your Felcos. It doesn't matter if you have a number 2, number 6, number 14. It does not matter. It will fit them. Don't take a screwdriver and try to undo the screws and loosen up the Felcos. It will not work. I tried it one time and then I was like, duh, I had the 905, just go get that. I had a brain fart for a minute, right? This is what you need to take your Felco apart and to sharpen it. You want to keep your blade nice and sharp. So the 905 is a must-have. And then my next one that I use a ton, I've gotten into the rhythm of before I go and use my Felcos, because we're doing a lot of pruning right now, I will clean them with the 980. So the 980 is a little pump spray. It cleans your Felcos. So it gets rid of red clay soil that may be on your Felcos, any kind of gunky resin, anything that is like stuck and you need to clean your Felcos with, the 980 is for it. So I spray it on, I let it sit for just, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, get a paper towel, and then I just wipe it. You would be amazed at all of the dirt and gunk that comes off. So I clean it, then I take my 905, I do a couple of swipes of it to make sure it's nice and sharp, and then off I go. So those are the ones, and of course the clippers and all, I mean the gloves are here. Now, people have been asking, because we use this, right, if you watch my videos, I always have on my tool belt. I would say 99% of the videos that I do, especially if I'm in the garden, then I have on the tool belt. We partnered with a North Carolina company, Wheeler Monroe, who makes these really high quality tool belts. They are pure leather. We have the Creekside Nursery logo stamped onto it. This will literally last you years. I have had mine for years. And what you can do it on right-handed or left-handed. So we have both of those available. You can get these online. But what's really nice is that, I think this is the lefty, is that it has the adjustable belt. Now the one that I have is like an actual belt, like I measured my waist and sent it in. This is super nice because it is adjustable. So people have asked what's the highest, like the biggest that it'll go up to. We'll figure that out. I don't know, but I mean it is a good size. So it doesn't matter if you're a little small petite person, or maybe you're on the larger size and you need a little extra room. It's okay. You've got tons of room on this. So like Jerry and I could actually both share this belt, right? So we have those available here and we have them available online. You will love this, y'all, because it holds 2 sets of clippers. It holds my hory. I can put my phone in here. You can put your keys on here. You name it. It is like all in one. So you're not like searching like, oh, what did I do with it? And looking for all that. Also, one more thing before we go outside. Literally like just a little bit ago, we got a whole new slew of birdhouses. We have not even unpacked them yet. These are some of the ones that we have, but we're getting ready to unbox all those new boxes and give you a whole beautiful display. These birdhouses are made in Mississippi with a family company. They are cypress or they are cedar. They are meant to be outside. They are completely weatherproof. The birds love them. I have them multiples around the house and the property, and the birds go to them. Your smaller holes are for your smaller birds, and your bigger holes are for your bluebirds. People were asking, some of you have spotted this one that is up at the chicken coop. So we have, I forget exactly what the name of this one is, but I had to put it up at the chicken coop because it's got a little rooster on top. So whether you like something classic or you like the big, bold, bright colors, everything is available here at the nursery, and we also have these online. So maybe you're not being able to come to the nursery. Well, you can go to the website, gardeningwithcreekside.com, and we have got the heartwood birdhouses available online that you can order. We'll send them to you. Or if you're coming to the nursery, you can get them here. They make great gifts. So think about Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up before you know it. These make great gifts. Birds love them. All right, let's go look at some other flowering plants. As As we make our way to the greenhouse, you can see we've got, of course, various displays up here. We've got the clematis, we have got the thornless blackberries, you name it, we've got it. And then we can come in here into the greenhouse where it is warm, it smells divine. Oh my gosh, y'all. Are you ready? Look at this. This is white by the gate camellia. Look how stunning those blooms are. This is a japonica, meaning that this is the time of year that it blooms. I have a white by the gate at the house, and she is in bloom as well, but stunning. I mean, pure white classic flowers, unbelievable. Now let's look at some annuals. Now we've told you this before. You will see that there are holes, right? So on Saturday, we had folks buying some of the annuals. They have either like a small hobby greenhouse that they're gonna put it in. They have somewhere to put these plants in. I don't know if Jerry can show you. We already have a little pollinator bee. If you're looking to add pollinators to the garden or attract them, Bidens are a great way to do it. They're early bloomers. The pollinators love them. I mean, it is chilly outside. We have this little bee in here, and you see where she is. The Goldilocks Rocks is one of my all-time favorites because of those big, bright, cherry yellow flowers. This particular one, the pollinators really love. They're attracted to that yellow flower. It's nice and big. They can get in there, get that nectar. But if you like orange, you've got Campfire Flame. If you want the white, the brand new one, the Marshmallow. We've got petunias. You can see people were grabbing petunias, the mini vistas, so the mini vista hot pink, the white, and of course, one of my personal favorites is the new saffron finch. A beautiful, true yellow flower. Here in the south, when our temperatures go up, you're gonna notice that this is gonna get a little bit more of a softer yellow. It is not gonna be a big, bright yellow like this. It will kind of mellow out and be a softer, more kind of a butter yellow. It's the heat. It's not anything that we're doing, it's just the heat of the day, right? Jazzberry, the annual of the year. You can see holes, you can see what people were going for, right? This is not the only sets of plants that we have. We've got plenty for you. Look at the Lamian. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is the pink Chablis. This will actually be a perennial for us here. It's a perennial in zones, I think like 7 to 11. This is a beautiful ground cover. Mine at the house, I actually have it underneath. The white by the gate is thriving right now, but it'll do little pink flowers on it, hence its name.
Probably need to think about hardening those off.
Yes, I would. So Jerry said to harden them off. If you're gonna put it outside now, because of course this has been growing in the greenhouse, so you're gonna wanna harden it off. How do you harden off a plant? Because you could really even possibly do it with your petunias and your super bells. So how you harden off a plant, whether it's a Lamian, a petunia, a tomato, it doesn't matter. You take it out during the day, you let it have a couple of hours outside, then you can bring it in. So you do that repeatedly for, probably about 2 weeks or so. And literally what happens during that time is your leaves, they get tougher. So you're building up the resistance to being outside. Direct, straight sunlight, wind, cooler temperatures, all of those things, you want to acclimate the plants to go outside this time of year. Now, if you're doing it in June, you don't have to worry about it. But when you have those early spring and those temperatures that are fluctuating, you want to make your plant nice and tough. So that's why we harden them off. The guara, this is the Carolee Petite Pink, will be another perennial for us. Beautiful. And then look how much the Nepeta, oh, she's blooming. I scared Brenna. So we brought in the cat's pajamas. This is a Nepeta. It is a perennial. Started to bloom. So this is one that we got from our friends Panoramic. They were just breaking dormancy last week. We brought them in to encourage them a little bit, and they have fluffed up quite nicely. So this is one that we could go ahead and harden off if we wanted to. So we could move it outside, and that way, from being in the greenhouse, it'll slow down, so that way it'll bloom at the appropriate time. So we've got those. Of course, The Nemesias, oh look, we've got the Laguna Compact Blue with Eye has started to bloom. This is another great one for your cool weather, like early spring containers, whether you're doing the lobelia or the Nemesia. All of these right here are going to be great for those early cool temperatures. So that's why we have them down here at the greenhouse right now. But just beautiful, along with your alyssum. This is the White Knight. Y'all, I wish we had smell-o-vision, because your alyssum just smells so sweetly. Hence why it's called a sweet alyssum. So there's lots of options. If you don't want the white, then look at, this is the Violet Knight. Look at that. It too has a delicious fragrance to it. This is going to be low and kind of the trailer. So if you put it in a container, it'll spill over. If you put it in the ground, it'll act more as like a low ground cover. So lots of options. Oh, we've got our first osteos that are blooming. So it is, of course, the Double Delight. It is the one, not Double Delight, Double Moon Glow. Double Delight's the begonia. There's a lot of doubles around here. So this is the Double Moon Glow. This is the very first one, but it is a double flower. Really nice, soft yellow. But the Bright Lights is the series of the osteospermums. We just call them osteos. They're African daisies. They will all start to bloom. You can see we've got some more of the Double Moon Glow here. A great one. This whole table is perfect for those cooler temperatures, because once they're outside and they're acclimated, then they can take those dips down to what, the low 30s?
Yeah, and we'll start to open up. Like right now, I'm thinking everything needs to open up.
Right, because this is like classic spring weather here in North Carolina that we're experiencing in February, because in the mornings, like it could be in the upper 20s or the low 30s, but by the end of the day, we're in the 60s, right? So these sides, of course, are controlled by the thermostat. So what Jerry's saying is these sides need to come up like right now. It's probably in, I don't know, the upper 40s outside. So that way it kind of slows down the growth and hardens them off. So when we finish this video, we'll adjust that thermostat and make sure that it's doing well. We've got some of the first petunias, Mini Vista Scarlet, great red. This is one of the newer Mini Vistas. Love it. This sold like hotcakes last year. So we only have, let's see, this is still Scarlet. She's one of the very first, besides we have some jazzberries and some of the saffron finches. Super Bells, there is a Blue Moon Punch way back there. Some of them are blooming, and we've got some more blooms down here. This is the Coral Sun. Coral Sun is a nice, really sweet, cheery. It's got yellow, and then that great coral color to it. So it is blooming. And then we have the Black Currant Punch is starting to bloom as well. A really nice, sweet purple. And we've got Honeyberry. Honeyberry is blooming as well, and our yellows are just starting to crack. Great, both your petunias and your Super Bells are very cool tolerant, and so you can put them out earlier, say, than like a coleus or maybe a grass or a verbena or a lantana, because they're more cool tolerant. You just make sure they're hardened off first, and then you can put them out and get beautiful color early on, and then of course they continue through the heat. Now, I do want to talk about, because I've talked about this in the video when I was in the woodland garden, but we didn't talk about it with the nursery tour. So let's go down here real quick. Of course, all these are perennials. The Boom Chocolata, look at that. Now, this is sat out here all winter long. So the Boom Chocolata is a perennial geranium, dark foliage that will get some beautiful, it's dark, it's hard, beautiful blue flowers on it. Gorgeous. I will say that there is going to be, not necessarily on our end, but kind of, there's going to be a little bit of a shortage of perennial geraniums. So come on, let's go down here, and we're going to come and look at peonies right quick. So this whole back side of the table are peonies. Peonies, peonies. I've already heard people call them piney roses, whatever you want to call them, right? You know what I'm talking about. We've got them. They're dormant, which is perfect, so you don't have to worry about, do I need to harden them off? Is it safe to put them out? Yes, it is safe to put them out. I added 5 to the woodland garden, the chicken coop garden, and they are ready to go. Depending on the variety, you're gonna notice that some of the eyes are already popping up. So this is a Shirley Temple, and I don't know if the camera will get it. Shirley Temple is already starting to get some sprouts on it. So this is the perfect time to put it in the landscape. You're not gonna have any kind of like transplant shock to it, but peonies, of course, like that Shirley Temple. Most of your peonies are a double bloom. Most of them will have fragrance to them. Depending on the variety or the cultivar, you're gonna get different height and obviously different color. Shirley Temple, beautiful classic white, one of my favorites. Kansas is a great one as well. Nice double, really huge, like red double flowers. This one's gonna be 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. And it's going to be hardy. Peonies tend to be more cold tolerant, like up to a zone 3 to a zone 7, 8. And so you get some beautiful colors on it. Sarah Bernhardt is another classic one. Sarah Bernhardt, big, massive doubles, but beautiful apple blossom, pink flowers on it. It is just a gorgeous one. If you want yellow, then you can do the Bartzella. This is an Ito peony. Fragrant, deep yellow double blooms, and they have like a little red center to them and are just going to be stunning. Now these are going to be a little bit bigger because these are the Itos, like a 4x4. So we've got those, and then we also have the Scarlet O'Hara, which is going to be, that's Carl Rosenfield. There's a Scarlet O'Hara in here somewhere, nice red, but it's a single bloom. So you can get all sorts of different kinds. Peonies, great. Like, look at this. So this is that Bartzella. Look how much it's already sprouted, right? The Itos are a cross between an herbaceous and a tree peony. So they're gonna be a little bit bigger, a little bit, not more erect, you know? So they're gonna be gorgeous. So we've got those. And then of course, tons and tons of shade perennials, right? So if you're looking for hostas, if you want eucharis, you name it, we have got it. Perfect time to be adding them to the landscape. I cannot stress this enough. Fall, late winter, early spring is the perfect time to be planting these, your shrubs, your perennials, your trees, because the roots can get established while it's still cool. We're getting more consistent rain. You get strong root system, because for us in the South, our problem is the heat and the humidity of the summer. That's when plants have their most stress in that, especially that first year, possibly 2 years, like with your trees. So we've got them. Come see us. Right now in February, we're open on Saturdays only from 9 to 3. Beginning in March, whatever that March is of that first Wednesday, that is when we will be open Wednesday through Saturday. We'll throw the date up here because I don't have a calendar in front of me, but the first Wednesday in March is when we will begin our regular hours, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 3. If you have any questions, you can head to the website, gardeningwithcreekside.com. We do have an events page because every Saturday we're trying to have a food truck come. So you can check to see, you know, are there going to be workshops, or what food truck's going to be here, some kind of special event. Of course, you can go check that out. We do still have a couple of tickets left for the signature experience. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and sign up for that as well. But yeah, as always, we so appreciate you. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.